Hey, what's up guys, Impulse7 here, and today I am bringing you guys another video, and in this video I'm reacting to the new Secret of the Mimic teaser, MCM Archive number 2, and this one is called Murray's Magic Coat Rack. I don't know why he made a coat rack, but I guess we'll find out. Now, the first one was 1 minute and 30 seconds. This one is half as long, it's 47 seconds long. And because the first one came out a week ago, it seems to me that this one, that MCM Archive, will just be kind of like the new Freddy and Friends on Tour, which came out weekly, right? So I'm guessing that's what this is going to be kind of like. And if we assume that, then this might be 4. I think there was 4 Freddy and Friends on Tour cartoons, right? So I'm going to assume that there's going to be 4 of these, but we don't know. I mean, the thing about Freddy and Friends on Tour, it was like slowly revealing the release date, and then there was only 4 of them, and then the trailer revealed the full date, right? But we already know the Secret of the Mimic release date, so this isn't really building up to that. So I'm wondering if it's going to build up to anything, or if it's just showing, like, kind of, Edwin's, like, other creations, you know? But I guess we'll find out, so let's just get to watching. 47 seconds long. Alright. 4, 3, 2...
Are your clothes creating a catastrophic pile? Is your family distraught by the untidy nature of your house? The solution is here, friends. Murray's Magic Coat Rack. Adjusts for any size of clothing. Jackets, hats, cardigans, blazers, bags, shawls, scarves, and more. It'll even hold your pots and pans, or your pet, or you, if you're feeling down. Order several...
Huh. Was there anything in there? Were there any, like, glitchy images? Okay, so first thing I want to look at is this right here, because I have opened the first one because I remembered that this one existed. Here it says 411-1007, and this one says 439-8757. So, okay, I have no idea how the wall code was found in Security Breach, but I think I remember people saying, like, it was something to do with Freddy and Friends. I don't know what in Freddy and Friends, or how at all, but I think I remember people saying that. I could be wrong, though. But if we're going by the same logic, that this is Freddy and Friends, but for Secret of the Mimic, then that implies that there will be stuff in here that will help us solve some kind of code in Secret of the Mimic, right? So I'm wondering if these numbers will end up being anything, because they were different last time. So I'm wondering if they might end up being something. So what's interesting is the one thing that's remained consistent, the first number is a 4, the last number is a 7. And that stayed the same, right? That's all that stayed the same, besides the dash after the third line. I'm wondering if this could be used, like, as a phone number in-game or something, or if, like, all of them can be phone numbers, or if it's anything, right? But I'm wondering if they could end up being something in-game, and I'll put a pin in that so that when I'm playing the game, I'll know to use those numbers for anything that I can. But yeah, so the Magic Coat Rack, I want to see if there's anything actually in here, that, like, any, like, hidden images. What is this about? I want to see if any of my friends were talking about this. There's a mention of a coat. Oh yeah, there is a mention of a coat rack in the Mimic story that a body was hung up on. But I have a feeling this is probably not what that's about. Here's the thing. I don't think my friends put this together. Because they don't seem to have said anything. Tuck said, honestly, I have nothing to say about the video except this, which is the body on the coat rack thing. Libra said, all I really have to say is we are told Edwin wants to make useful things for others. It's pretty useful. Yeah. I want to see now in the pinball server if anybody's been talking about it. Nobody gave any insight. All right. People just said Mimic, then Mimi, then Mim, then Mi, and then M. So nobody gave any insight. But I do think I know exactly what this is. So let's go back to the first one. Okay. Listen to the coffee maker here.
That's Murray's secret recipe. The stay-up latte creates the perfect cup of coffee suited to you, based on your coffee habits.
I know what you want better than you do. I am always watching and learning. How they know they're come. How they know they're come. How they know they're come. How they know they're come.
I am always watching and learning. That's exactly what the Mimic does. So my idea, some people were saying that this could have been, that Edwin wanted to use some of the Mimic stuff, like the Mimic program and stuff like that. And he was like, this could be used in other, like, useful ways, right? So he wants to use the Mimic's technology for new ideas. And people were suggesting that that would have been one of those ideas. However, I feel like these inventions make much more sense to be before the Fazbear Entertainment, before the Fazbear Entertainment buyout, because after the buyout, he was just making stuff for Fazbear Entertainment. And after the Mimic story, after the Mimic was created and destroyed by Edwin, he disappears, and then he comes back, and then he's on the board of directors for Fazbear Entertainment, right? So maybe he could have made new things after that, after he got back, but I feel like it wouldn't be these kinds of things, because these aren't anything Freddy related. And he works for Freddy's. So it feels like these would have been before the buyout. Around the same time he was making the vacuum cleaner, right? I wonder if the vacuum cleaner will end up being one of these. That would be interesting. But yeah, I feel like this has to be around the era of the vacuum cleaner, before the Mimic was created. So the fact that the coffee maker said, I am watching and learning, to me, that seemed less like he used the Mimic to make new things, and more like he used the idea of the coffee maker, and the idea of it watching and learning, and used that as inspiration, and that program to help him in the creation of the Mimic, right? So, what's more interesting now, with this one, the coat rack, this.
House, the solution is here, friend. Murray's magic coat rack. Adjusts for any size of clothing. Jackets, hats, cardigans.
Adjusts for any size of clothing. And look, what does it do? It expands and contracts, just like the Mimic. So, there you have it, folks. Yeah, it's. I think I'm right. I think that's what it is. I think it's that he used his former creations to assist him in making the Mimic, because the Mimic can expand and contract and fit in any costume, adjust for any clothing, just like this thing. So it seems like he basically used his other inventions to help him with the creation of the Mimic. He used the watching and learning thing from the coffee maker. That helped him create the Mimic, and its mimicking properties. Then this thing, the expanding and contracting thing, that is something the Mimic has. So what I'm wondering is, what other features does the Mimic have that could have had some inspiration of some kind, right? I kind of want to like go back and look at the epilogues. I think specifically epilogue 4, when they look at like the blueprints and stuff for it, I feel like that might help give an idea of where we might be going next. So I'm just gonna cut for a second and go get the book. The one we saw is either a Mimic Model 1 or 2. She ran her finger down the page. These things are pretty creepy. They have retractable and expandable limbs and a contracting torso, like I just said, so they can fit into pretty much any mascot costume. Lucia frowned and read some small print under the sketch of the thing that had killed Hope. Oh geez, she gasped. What? Kelly asked. Lucia looked up from the manual. Apparently, the tech in the Mimics was pretty clunky. It says that if you encounter one of these things, you should immediately disconnect its power source and disassemble it. So that's kind of all it gives us on, like, its features, I guess. So maybe I should look at the Mimic story, see if there's anything in there that could help, again, give an idea of where these things might be going next. Because these are the two main features of the Mimic. There's not much else to the Mimic, so I'm wondering if there is anything else that I'm forgetting. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. By pulling wiring from rooms that he never used, taking pistons from a defunct industrial washing machine, and borrowing steel and spoons and gears and springs from the levers machine. Did I say spoons before? I meant spools. Edwin had fashioned the torso, arms, and head of a primitive-looking endoskeleton. This physical housing was the easy part, okay? next, this is the interesting part. Once Edwin had constructed the legless robot, he had to build the computer for it. This he did by stealing hardware from some of his abandoned projects. So that's what these are. These are commercials for projects that never ended up getting made. That's what it seems like. These are things that he made that didn't pan out. And then he uses these parts and these inventions to help him in the creation of the Mimic and its program. That's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah, I think overall, that's pretty much all there is. It doesn't look like there's much else that can be used here. But, like, who knows? There might be. Like, there's a mention of him using, like, doll's eyes for the Mimic's eyes. So maybe we'll see, like, a doll of some kind here. I don't know. It's questionable, like, what else they could do here. If I am right about the idea of, like, this being the stuff that Edwin used to help him with the creation of the Mimic. Like, I don't know what else they could do. Like, they could do that other doll, or they could do something else involved in the physical stuff. I'm not really sure, like, what else what more creations that he used to help him with the Mimic could be shown here, because there doesn't seem to be that many more that could have properties of the Mimic, other than what's already been shown. So I'm not really sure what else they'll do. But I guess we'll find out next Friday. And yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe if you want to, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye, guys!